Listen, it's quite simple. Press the free like button if you are aware that Stone Cold Steve Austin and the WWF, they beat Nitro and WCW in ratings to put them out of business with Hulk Hogan on their roster. Press the free like button if you are aware of that. Now listen, I do love me some Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan actually got me into fake pro wrestling. But as I look back, it was actually a combination of both. It was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Those two guys got me into fake pro wrestling. But it's weird when people say Hogan was one of the biggest draws in the 80s. Or they say he is one of the biggest draws of all time. He was one that drew over 30 million viewers. I'm like, listen, it's not that easy. And here's what I mean. It's like, I did my research. Listen, people are so dumb. Do you think I would fucking upload a video without doing research? I have a reputation to uphold. So why would I make a video for thousands of people to see and I don't do no fucking research? I do research before every video. If I don't read up on a topic, I'm not going to make content about it. That's not how being on YouTube works. You can't make content without doing your research. That's not how that works. You are dumb if you don't do research before every video that you make. So, Hogan did not draw over 30 million viewers by himself. But listen, when it comes to the 1980s, it was a different time back then. We only had 4 channels, and the people who had cable, they had money. They were fucking low-key wealthy. Cable was expensive back then. It was a different economy. Nobody in my family had cable, and I had a big family. We did not have cable because that shit was fucking expensive. In fact, the people in my hood, they were stealing cable. They were fucking stealing cable. That's how pricey cable was back then. But cable was not even that good back then. So the people who had cable, guess what? They were not watching fake pro wrestling. Let's just get that out the way. But yes, it was only 4 channels back then. So there was no competition. If I would say 3 out of the 4 channels had nothing on, then yes, most likely people are going to watch fake pro wrestling out of spite, really, because there's nothing on. But that's why they drew all of those viewers. Okay, by that same logic, how come they didn't draw that 2 times or more times in the future with Hogan on the card, right? What if there was nothing on? That's facts. There was only 4 channels, and the people who had cable, bro, there was not that many channels on cable. So don't give me that excuse. There was not that many channels on cable during the 1980s. But if you did not have cable, there was only 4 channels. And listen, the majority of the USA in the 80s did not have cable. Let me repeat. During the 1980s, the majority of this country did not have cable TV. Hence why you see all these old school channels showing all these old ass TV shows, right? Because those channels were not on cable. They were on basic TV. That was it. Now, let's compare Andre the Giant and Hogan, that match that drew over 30 million viewers. Okay, let's talk about that. Because some dumbass told me, well, why didn't other TV shows draw that amount of viewers? Yes, bitch, they did. There was tons of popular TV shows that drew over 20-some million viewers. Have you seen MASH? MASH? Did you see the finale of MASH? They drew tons of viewers. Why? Because there was not that many channels on TV back then. But yes, there were tons of TV shows that drew all those viewers. Hence why they got syndicated for the future. Hence why Married with Children is still on TV. Hence why we see tons of fucking reruns on classic channels, right? Because they drew tons of viewers in the 80s. That's why they got syndicated for reruns that you see today. Because they drew over 20-some million viewers. But of course, 2 giants fighting, that's gonna draw tons of viewers, obviously, right? 2 giants, but it was not Hulk Hogan. Only young casuals that don't do research think it was all on Hulk Hogan, and it was not. Fun fact, Andre the Giant was a bigger draw than Hulk Hogan. Why did Hogan and Andre draw so much money? Let's talk about the match at WrestleMania. why was that match in the rivalry so big and so important? It ends and starts with Andre. Andre was undefeated for 15 years. That's why that match was as big as it was. That's why it was so hyped up, because Andre was being promoted as an undefeated wrestler for the past 15 years. So of course that's going to attract ratings in terms of, okay, who is going to be the next big guy to dethrone Andre? That's why that match was an attraction, because of Andre. Andre was the biggest draw in the 80s. Hands down, not even close. Listen, merch sales were not counted until what, maybe 88 or 87? Nobody took merch sales seriously during that era, because I don't think toys were made until what, maybe 85, maybe? So Andre was the biggest draw in all of fake pro wrestling. He was wrestling. He was the face of wrestling during the 80s, 70s. When you said pro fake wrestling, you thought of Andre. Andre was a circus freak that was a wrestler, really, because nobody looked like that. Nobody looked like Andre. That's why he drew tons of viewers and tons of money. Nobody looked like that. Hell, I wish I was old enough to buy a ticket to watch Prime Andre. That's how big he was, man, as a fucking major draw. Dude, his name was the fucking Giant. And especially during his prime, he was very, very athletic during his prime years. He was a great wrestler in his prime years. But obviously, once Andre got older and fatter, then obviously his matches were not that good. But I'm saying in his prime years, man, he was the biggest draw in all of fake pro wrestling. He was a standard that you had to live up to. People bought tickets just to see Andre, to see how big this guy was. That fucking big ass head, his fucking afro, his fucking weird face, his teeth. Like, people were paying money, drawing money to watch Andre. Hogan was just there. Listen, Hogan became a star because of Rocky 3. That's why Hogan became a star, because of Rocky 3. Andre became a star because of fake pro wrestling. He was a star that people were trying to see. Everything was built around Andre. So even Hogan said that Andre was one that put him over. Nobody was allowed to body slam Andre unless it was Hulk Hogan. He said it. Nobody was allowed to take Andre off of his feet. Hogan was chosen. So by that logic, Andre made Hogan a star. That's what Hogan said. Hogan said if it was for Andre fucking giving him the rub and fucking put him over, Hogan would not be a bigger star than he was today. If it wasn't for Andre made him a fucking star from that body slam. Right? If Andre did not have a name, we wouldn't know who Hogan was. Like I said, Andre was promoted as an undefeated fake pro wrestler during that era. So people were waiting to see who would be the guy to dethrone Andre. And it was Hogan. That helped Hulkamania. Andre helped Hulkamania grow. But it was all Andre. That's why, still to this day, Vince McMahon loves Andre more than Hogan. That's why, when it comes to the WWF, Andre is more beloved than Hogan. That's facts, not an opinion. That's a fact. Vince McMahon, he loved Andre more than Hogan. Let's talk about who was the biggest draw in all of fake pro wrestling as a whole. Yes, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not Hogan. I think Steve Austin was a bigger draw than Andre the Giant. But I think Andre is the second biggest draw of all time because he made Hulkamania. Like I said, if Andre was not pushed as this monster, Hulkamania wouldn't exist. But let's talk about Hogan and Steve Austin. How can you not agree, right? How can you not agree that Steve Austin was a bigger draw than Hulk Hogan? Like, that's facts. Listen, Hogan's biggest run ever was when he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Okay, let's compare that. Last time I checked, Steve Austin was Stone Cold Steve Austin during the Hollywood Hogan run. So they went head to head, but people don't talk about that. That's weird though. During 1998, they were going head to head, both channels head to head. Hogan, Steve Austin, Stone Cold, head to head. Okay, who was the bigger draw? It was Stone Cold. Stone Cold was the bigger draw. Hence why WCW don't exist. Hence why they got bought out. That was on Hogan's watch, bro. Like, how can you not agree? Stone Cold Steve Austin, he defeated Hogan in WCW. It's like, that is a fact. Back in 98, 99, etc. It was Hollywood, Hulk Hogan, and the NWO versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, man, on Raw. Who won in the battle of ratings? It was Stone Cold and Raw. Facts, not an opinion, that's a fact. So to say Hogan was a bigger draw, then okay, then how come WCW don't exist? And that was on his watch. Eventually, listen, let's go back to Hulkamania during the WWF days. He left for a reason, because Hulkamania was going down. Let's talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin. The rise of Stone Cold, it never went away. He never fell off. Even after Owen Hart broke his fucking neck, Stone Cold never fell off. John Cena, he fell off. I'm sorry. Daniel Bryan fell off. Stone Cold never fell off. Even when he was a Raw GM, people were still paying money to see Stone Cold talk on the microphone, even though he wasn't wrestling. So, I'm telling facts right now. Stone Cold never fell off. People were hurt when he had to retire. So let's compare Hollywood Hulk Hogan to Stone Cold Steve fucking Austin. Last time I checked, Nitro got their ass whooped by Stone Cold Steve Austin with Hogan on the show. Like I said, I do research before I do every video. I don't make up lies. Stone Cold beat them in ratings. And even though that was his best run, Hogan, look, when it comes to heel Hogan, that was his best run, but still, Stone Cold still beat him. So, and listen, Stone Cold never fell off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He never had a dip in ratings. He never had a dip in merch sales. He was always on top. Even after he fucking walked out, he was always on top. He never fell off. Never. He was always the top guy. People never got tired of Stone Cold Mania. But people got tired of Hulkamania, right? Hence why he left to go to WCW. Eventually, people got tired of the NWO. Eventually, Hollywood Hogan, he had to go back to the red and yellow during his late WCW run, remember? That was never Stone Cold Steve Austin. He didn't go back to being the fucking ringmaster, right? He was always Stone Cold. He was always over. He was always getting, Stone Cold was always getting the biggest pops. And he was always getting the biggest pops on the fucking show. Even when he was a Raw GM doing nothing. Even during his feud with Eric Bischoff, he was still the most popular guy on the card. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest draw in fake pro wrestling history. John Cena, he had a run, but eventually people got sick of the Cena agenda. People never got tired of the Stone Cold agenda. People never got tired of seeing Stone Cold every day on Raw. Never. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean by Stone Cold is the biggest draw, because people never got sick of him. Eventually, people got sick of Hogan. People got sick of John Cena eventually. You can't say you got sick of seeing Stone Cold Steve fucking Austin. Never. Never. I've never heard anybody say that before. Never. I've never heard anybody say that before. That's what I mean. Stone Cold is the greatest of all time. As a draw and as a fake pro wrestler, he's the greatest of all time. Because people couldn't get enough of him. Still to this day, people would rather see a Stone Cold comeback over a Rock comeback. All right, listen. Why is LA Cosplay so over? Because he reminds people of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So by that logic, people miss Stone Cold Steve Austin. Why do people compare LA Cosplay to Stone Cold? Because people miss Stone Cold. They want to see him back. So they treat LA Cosplay as Stone Cold, even though he ain't Stone Cold. That's what I mean. People miss him. People miss Stone Cold Steve Austin. Do people miss Hogan? Not so much. That's what I mean. Steve Austin never fell off where people did not want to see him anymore. Never, ever, ever, ever. Let's talk about the Triple H fucking reign of terror. People were still dying to see Stone Cold Steve Austin during that time. That's what a GOAT is. That's what a draw is. We want to see you no matter what. We don't care if you don't wrestle no more. We want to see you. So, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he already went head to head with Hulk Hogan when it comes to who was the bigger draw. Hogan was hot during the late 90s. He was hot as fuck. Same as Stone Cold. But who won? Stone Cold Steve Austin and Raw, bruh. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They already went head to head. So this ain't me doing fucking fantasy shit, right? This ain't, oh, who was a bigger draw? Andre or Stone Cold? Well, we can't say that because Stone Cold did not wrestle during the 1980s. But when it comes to the numbers, yes, Stone Cold was a bigger draw when it comes to the numbers on paper. But Hogan and Steve Austin, they went head to head though. Channel for channel, they went head to head. So we already had proof on who was the bigger draw. Who went out of business? It was WCW. Who stayed in business? Who stayed making more and more revenue? It was a WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. That's what I mean. They went head to head. Who won? Stone Cold and Raw, bitch. That's what I mean. Stone Cold is the biggest draw in fake pro wrestling history. And I think Andre is second. I think Dre, he's second. Third, Hogan. Those are the three biggest draws of all time. It's Austin, Andre second. Third, Hogan. In that order. You can't argue that order. Without Andre, there is no Hulkamania. So yes, Hogan, he had to have a big villain. He needed a dance partner. That was Andre. He needed a big bad villain to put him over as the next big face of the company. So the point I'm trying to make is Hogan and Austin, bruh, Hogan got his ass whooped by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And listen, there was some dumbass that said that Hollywood Hulk Hogan helped put over Stone Cold Steve Austin. What the fuck are you talking about? See, you people wonder why I block people. When you say dumbass stuff like that, I cannot allow that. On my platform, I can't allow that. Don't say dumb shit that's not factual. If you tell me factual shit, I won't block you. Tell me factual evidence, then I won't block you, bro. That's facts. Don't say dumbass stuff like that. It's like, what does Hogan have to do with the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin? The person who helped Stone Cold get over was Bret Hart. Do not disrespect the name of Bret Hart. That's what I mean. So listen, at the end of the day, you are insane in the membrane if you don't think Stone Cold Steve Austin is the greatest of all time, you stupid dumb bitch. Holy fuck, man. Who on this roster was helping the World Wrestling Federation in TV ratings before the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin? There was no Hogan, right? Make up your fucking mind, bitch. You said that the new generation era was not good. Okay, because there was no Hogan, right? It was all Bret, Diesel, Shawn, Sid. It was all them taken, right? Okay. Once Stone Cold became Stone Cold Steve Austin, times changed, obviously, right? So yes, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he saved the WWF from near death, from WCW. That's all I'm saying. I'm done.